Somebody, you probably should sit in here and watch the camera. Somebody should.
Thank you so much again for doing this.
Actually, of course. Is it gonna make you nervous if I sit in here?
You sit in here watching? No! Well, I'm actually gonna forget about you all and just gonna focus on Justin.
Whenever you guys are ready.
Is that camera rolling?
Yeah, they're all rolling.
Awesome, cool. Let's get it started. Hi Justin, I'm John and we are from Nash. Thank you so much for meeting us. It's good to meet you.
You as well. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much. So how long have you been living in Nashville, Justin?
So I've lived in Nashville my whole life. I grew up in Greenbrier, Tennessee, and went to Murfreesboro for college at MTSU.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I think you're the first person that I met in Nashville that is actually from Nashville. So you are our official unicorn.
Yeah, I sure am.
How long have you been living in downtown Nashville, like East Nashville?
So I moved to East Nashville 2 years ago. Love it. Love the neighborhood so much. I'm actually buying over here. So.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah, I'll be a permanent East Nashville.
That is awesome. So what do you do, Justin?
I work for Rudy Title and Escrow. So we handle kind of the legal side of any real estate transactions, and I go to law school as well.
What does escrow means?
Escrow
sorry,
means,
I had always
that's
wanted
okay.
to ask this.
So escrow is the process of just holding money and then dispersing the funds. So if you ever bought a property, your mortgage company would probably escrow your property taxes and your insurance. So you just pay them monthly and then they escrow and pay the bill when it's due at the end of the year.
That's awesome. Well, pretty smart stuff there. I work as a data analyst and had been with Nash since very beginning. So it is amazing. Thank you so much again for meeting.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk a little bit about the LGBT Pride, provided that you're one of our awesome LGBT contributors to the team as well as in Nashville.
Yeah.
It is amazing to meet. So are you currently dating anyone?
I am. Yeah, his name is Ryan.
Awesome. How long have you guys been dating?
Just over 11 months, so
that's amazing.
Be a year, July 11th.
Oh, big anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
Be mindful, we might show up at the door with champagne.
We'll welcome you gladly.
So cool. So how do you find law school? Is it cool?
It's hard, yeah, it's really cool though. I love all the professors, so we have a lot of actual judges, and actually the Attorney General of Nashville was one of my professors last semester, so that's cool. But it's really hard to balance work life and personal life and law school. So
that's amazing. Yeah. So how long have you been out to public and family as one of the LGBT members? Yeah,
so I came out right after college, so around 2015, 2016, and I just came out to my parents this last August.
Oh.
So I waited a while to tell them.
I'm sure it's not easy to come out to public as well as your parents. So how was their reception when you came out?
It was definitely not the best, but luckily I had my brother there with me. He's also gay. He wrote them a letter, and they read the letter and called him and said some not so nice things. So I kind of knew that the reaction wasn't going to be that good. I was just going to wait a little bit at that point to tell them, but I said if they asked me, I was done lying to them. If they asked and they wanted to know, I was going to tell them. And they did, so I told them.
Yeah. How did your friends and the other people in your life receive other than your parents? Because you had been out for like almost 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so that was probably the only reason that I ever told my parents, is I had so much support. So many friends, even people at work, are very supportive. So
that is amazing.
Yeah.
How to ask you this? You said you work with a lot of professors who are real-time lawyers and attorney generals in Nashville area.
Yeah.
Do they know about your status and do they treat you well in college? Because I heard little bad things about Nashville colleges treating LGBT communities. I want to see what's your take on that.
Okay, so I have not experienced any hatred at all. Everybody at Nashville School of Law is very supportive. One of my professors, actually my contracts professor, he was on the case that went to the Supreme Court to fight for LGBT marriage and equality.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, I was the most happiest that the law passed because one of my best friends in Los Angeles is gay and he want to get married and they were waiting on that.
Yeah.
And even they recently passed it in Australia. And
Yeah.
one of my friends, they were waiting again to get married.
Mhm.
I'm like, why did it took so long for them to let these guys get married? It's like they're not asking for
Exactly.
zillion dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, very reasonable
That
request.
that is awesome. So being in law school, do you have plans to fight for LGBT rights in future?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if there's anything that ever comes up where there's opposition to the laws that the Supreme Court has already established, then of course I'll be happy to join that fight. There's actually been, recently in Tennessee, there's been, I think it's a sitting DA who came out and pretty much said that if there was a gay couple who had a domestic violence charge, that he was going to drop it, because they shouldn't even be afforded those rights. And there was a petition passed around all of Nashville where they were writing for him to step down from that position. And so that's just one of the many ways that even you can be a part of helping fight for equality.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I'll forward it to you next time.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
I would love to be there because for me, if he's not going to support that, it violates human rights because
Exactly.
every human being has a right to go to the court and file for a case because they were
Yeah.
being abused. It's not right. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll definitely be there. Please feel free to invite me.
Sweet.
Yeah, I would love to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm also very disappointed about how our protest is talking about the transgenders in the U.S. Army and Navy.
Yeah.
How does that affect you? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I'm really not that involved with the trans community. Of course, they deserve every rights that we and any other American deserves. So I think that any limits or restrictions on them in the military should not be enforced by the Attorney General. That's plain and simple.
Yeah, I think the same way because those men and women and those trans people, whoever they're amazing humans.
Yeah.
They are giving up their lives to serve for the country and the
Exactly.
borders. And whoever are sitting in DC making laws, they don't
Yeah.
even know how hard their life is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, it's Pride Month.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. It's been a great summer so far. It's awesome seeing a community come together. So yeah.
That's awesome. So, do we have any Pride? I know that we have a parade on 22nd.
Mhm.
I'm sure you're planning to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what are you guys going to do that day? How are you going to celebrate?
So I guess we're going to start off with the parade, and then we might go back to a friend's house, eat some lunch, and then head out to the festivities at Public Square Park.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think about the flag of the LGBT community? I love that flag.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, it's just so colorful. It represents a bit of everybody. So
That's what I think too, because we were so long stereotyped on the stigma of men being blue and women being pink.
yeah,
I'm like, hey, we need more shades.
exactly.
And when I saw the pride flag, I'm like, wow, that is like
Yeah.
the perfect flag that
Yeah.
they can come up with. That is amazing.
Absolutely.
So have you been to any other prides? Because I have few friends who are going to New York
Mhm.
Pride, and they say that they want to travel there for the Pride.
Yeah.
Is it any different in different cities?
I don't know. I've never been. That's definitely a goal, though. So my brother lives in New York, so of course I want to go up there and celebrate with him. But I mean, Atlanta's right around the corner. I'd love to go down there, and maybe even head out to LA sometime.
That
That'd
is
be awesome.
amazing. So how is life for you as a LGBT guy who is out to public in 2019 in Nashville? Because I see
Yeah.
that Nashville is changing so much. I moved
Yeah.
here 4 years ago, and I see drastic changes since the
Mhm.
last 4 years. Has your life and how other people affect your life changed in the last 4 years?
So yeah, within the last 4 years, I mean, 4 years ago I was living in Murfreesboro, which is also small suburbs. So when I moved to the city, it was definitely more accepting, but you still get the whole, like, if you're holding hands, then you're going to hear comments, like, undoubtedly.
Oh my god.
So you hear things, but you also know that there's so much support in the city that it kind of drowns out the hatred.
Sorry to hear that there is still hatred in
hmm
2019, especially because it's no one else's business on how you should pick your
Yeah.
partner.
True.
So, yeah, again, going back to the negative comments and the hatred,
Mhm.
does it ever bother you too much to an extent where you were depressed or where you thought about it for too long? Like, why is it like this?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me like when other people say hateful things, but I think it's really hard still dealing with not having my parents' support. So when they say things, it's not so much hatred as just not understanding. And I mean, of course they love me and they still show me that, but when they're not supportive at all and like would rather me go to therapy and offer to pay for it literally within the last week, that's hard.
That is definitely hard. I can totally see that because I have few friends in India, and trust me, Indians has no chance of coming out.
Yeah.
They have to just suppress that part of their life and live like normal, pretentious life, which is so sad. That's what I try to figure out. America being first world country, how they define it, and India being the third world country, it is almost the same for LGBT people in both the countries. For those who come out, they never get their parent support until it is too late, or maybe until they just gave up expecting support. I mean, of course, support will never be too late, but you know, it is what it is, and they should understand, instead of treating you like you have some issues and go to a therapist. That is not fair. So, how does Ryan feel about your parents?
So his parents are almost the same as mine. His are growing to be a little more accepting. I hung out with his mom this past weekend. She took us to CMA Fest, so that was really fun. I don't know, I haven't really talked to him about it yet because I don't want to ever put that on him. I don't want him to ever feel that hatred from my parents. So I'm kind of waiting until they calm down or become more accepting to, well, they've already been introduced and now they know that we're together, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, why I asked that question is because I love reading so much, and I do a lot of research, and I have a lot of friends in the LGBT community. For me personally, the LGBT community shows more affection towards each other and more respect towards each other, more respect towards their pain than the straight couples. That's what I had seen in my experience. I can be totally wrong, but that's what I had seen. That's why I'm sure Ryan supports you through this pain and helps you get through that.
It definitely helps having him there. Like when I come home, like bawling my eyes out, like he's there to, like, be like, "Come on, put a smile on. You have a great life." And I'm like, "You're right. Come on." So
that is amazing. I'm a little bit jealous that you have that kind of support back home.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is amazing to have that. I mean, like, that's what I tell other people. It's like, you know, when you think there is no one, there's actually a lot of people. You just have to look at your surroundings.
Absolutely.
So how big of a friends community do you have, and did you lose any friends after coming out?
So I would say my broad friend group is very large. When I went to college, I was in a fraternity, so I know lots of the Greek life there. They've of course spread it out since then. Not a lot of them came to Nashville. But I honestly did not really lose any friends coming out. I guess I had just graduated from college, so of course at that point your friends slowly start to separate, but of course they're all still my friends. I wouldn't say that I had hardly any negative experiences with friends, except there was one from when I knew him from all the way back from kindergarten, but since then he was really just like, he wanted to be sure that I knew and that I wasn't making a mistake or just a quick guess on a hunch, but now that he knows that that is who I am and the lifestyle that I'm living, he supports me and he's still a good friend.
That is amazing, because friends are sometimes more than family, especially when someone is going through things like this, because you can't share everything with your parents. You have to just, like, you know, share it with your friends because you have to get it off your chest. So do you know at what age you are gay? I'm like, at what age you confirm that feeling?
Yeah, so I don't know exact age, but I mean it was definitely like between 5 and 7. So,
oh my god, that's early.
I mean, I remember like watching Disney movies and like being attracted to like the lead male character and knowing, I mean, so, and of course, I mean, I'm like attracted to girls too. I know a beautiful girl when I see her, and that's the good part about being gay is I can be like, "You are so beautiful," and they won't take it the wrong way.
On that, I will have to share this.
Yeah.
We had a friend, his name is Jeff. He is in the LGBT community as well. We went to Top Golf for bowling.
Oh, yeah.
So we were taking a picture of him behind us because it has something closer to his last name. And then this lady saw us taking the picture, and she was in the picture.
Yeah.
And she came and she started asking, like, please, can you delete it? And then they started talking, and then she learned that he's gay, and then she's like, oh, keep my
Oh, it's
picture. I don't
okay.
care. It's okay. I'm like, oh my God,
That's
are
so
you
funny.
serious?
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
But I totally see that. I think it gives girls courage and confidence to trust in you. Because I say this to Bryce and Cal and other friends
Yeah.
of mine, saying like, dude, men are dogs. They are pigs. We have to just
They are.
try hard to erase that feeling or judgment or opinion. Because I see it in all ways. Because most of men literally tend to affect the sensitive people who can take hurt from their words or their actions. If there aren't enough sensitive people, I think there are a lot of men that will kill themselves because their pride is too much hurt or whatever it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, growing up in Nashville, I heard that southern states are a lot conservative. I grew up in New York, which is not conservative at all.
Yeah.
So, did you had hard time? Of course, if you realize you were into man and all the LGBT
Yeah.
community at 7,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure growing up in high school, proms and everything, you definitely want to have a date. Did you have that chance, or did you didn't do it because of oppression, anything like that?
So growing up, my dad was actually a missionary Baptist preacher. So I definitely never even let anyone know, an inkling, that I was gay. I mean, of course, like, after college, though, when all that started changing, I kind of realized what that had done to me psychologically, and just having to hide it for so long really just made me, like, more hurt than anything, in knowing that who I wasn't good enough for them. So after coming out to my parents, of course, he told the church, and they kicked me out. So that was a hard, very, very difficult experience.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but I have to ask you this. If you don't want to answer, you can totally skip it.
Yeah.
But since you said they kicked you out of the church, do you still go to any church, or did you just avoid it from your life?
Since then, I have not found a new home church. I want to, but being so busy and dealing with the pain, I just haven't made it a priority, I guess.
I understand. I want to share a little bit about my story. I was abused sexually as well as a kid, by men. So if I tell this to my church, they will definitely kick me out too, because they just didn't care.
Yeah.
But to me, church and Christ or something, it's full of love. It's like he will forgive everyone and anyone. I had been going to this amazing church called Cross Point in Nashville. Trust me, their motto is this: everyone is welcome, nobody is perfect, anything is possible. And you have no idea how many of my LGBT friends go there.
Yeah?
They just love their church so much. There is no judgment at all. The church will speak about what Bible wants you to listen and what you should learn. So I definitely extend an invite for you to come to Cross Point. Very close to your house. It's right next to Top Golf.
Oh.
It's on the other side of the Top
Okay.
Golf. Yeah. And we have services at 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock and 5:30. And I will give you my number after this. Text me.
Sweet.
I'll be there for all the services. I'm volunteering
On Sunday?
there. Yeah.
Well,
I
I'll
spend
see
most
you
of
there.
my time there, except for 9 a.m. Sometimes I don't make it to 9 a.m. because it is too early
I
on
might
Sunday.
not make it to that one either. I like to sleep in. So.
Yeah, please come in for 1 o'clock or
Yeah.
5:30, because
Sweet.
that's one thing that I'd seen in the LGBT community. When the people transition or come out to their parents, they are always kicked out of the churches. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Being one of the LGBT people doesn't make them disqualified to be
Yeah.
saved by God.
Exactly.
I'm like, who
and
the
I was
hell are
already
you?
saved. I was saved when I was 13.
Exactly. I was like, who the hell are you to tell them to do what?
So, yeah.
I think nobody on this planet Earth has the right to tell other humans to do what,
Yeah.
unless the other human is interested in listening to their suggestions.
Yeah. And I mean, I knew that was my church's teachings. Of course, I'd been going literally every Sunday since before I was born. So I knew that was what was going to happen, and I had to be okay with that. But just recently, I was questioning my dad about it. I was like, I've experienced so much pain from your church. Like, why would you do that? Where in the Bible does it say that you should kick people out of your church because they're gay? Where? And I kept pressing him, and he didn't have an answer.
No, he doesn't.
Because there's not in there.
Yeah, it is totally personal.
Yeah.
It is nothing written in the church that says like, oh, LGBT community people shouldn't get married. Oh, they shouldn't have children. I'm like, no, Bible doesn't say any of those. Actually, Bible says, love everyone. Love your enemies as much as you love yourself. I don't know where that line slipped from their heads. That is my question to everyone.
I don't know.
Recently, I went to New York for my grandparents' memorial prayer. And this pastor started talking about LGBT community at a memorial prayer. I'm like,
Oh, no.
you're out of the line for sure, but I hate you.
Yeah.
So
Well.
I'm sorry that happened. I'm really sorry because as humans we are supposed to be better and create better environment for other people.
Yeah.
That is all you're brought on this earth by God to do. Make others feel better. You have no right to hurt someone because, oh my God, God died for us on the cross for crying out loud.
Yeah.
For all our sins, and then you are just here passing judgment on people
Exactly.
how to live their life. I don't agree.
I completely agree with you.
And I learned all this mostly from Crosspoint because I've been going there for 2 years. I'm not advertising that, but I see how amazing you are,
Okay.
and you will love it.
I
That's
think
why
I
I'm
would
saying
too.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
cool. So tell me a little bit about Ryan and your relationship and how you guys met each other, because I'm sure finding a date is hard.
Yeah, it is kind of hard in Nashville. So I actually met Ryan in college when I was doing the mock trial program. And I'd quit shortly after, but I knew him for about a month in college. And of course, I mean, I was very attracted to him. But I wasn't out at that point, so I couldn't act on that at all. And then, I guess it was like 3 years later, he started working at Rudy Title with me. So then we started hanging out more, and I found out that he was out at that point too. So that made me kind of excited, but everything just fell together like perfectly, and now we're just really happy.
Oh my God, I'm so loving this love story. It is like meant to be. You guys were like brought together, so amazing.
Yeah.
So, what is one favorite thing about Ryan that you like so much?
I would say it's, well, besides his cooking, he's a really good chef. It's just that we can literally lay on the couch or sit and watch a movie and just talk for hours about any and everything. It's like the conversation is never awkward. It's never like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say now, or, ugh, I am so tired of hanging out with him. Like, he just flew out to Atlanta yesterday for a wedding, and I'm already like, can you come home already? I miss you.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah, when you have chemistry, you'll just miss them every minute for sure, I guess.
Yeah.
So, was it hard for you to find a date? I mean, like before Ryan, I just don't know how the dating scene works there, because I heard that it is just the same as in straight community. It's hard for you to find a serious relationship.
Yeah, that's definitely my take on it. I think that a lot of the LGBT community thinks that being in such a conservative state that a real relationship is not possible, that marriage is just something that's not in their cards, I guess. I mean, nationally and federally it's legal, thanks to the Supreme Court, but in Nashville that might not be people's goals because they know the hardship that that's going to come with. I mean, even just recently Tennessee has tried to pass laws banning gay couples from adopting from certain adoptive services, and that's a whole nother topic, but yeah, we do still experience that. So the dating is more geared towards not a serious relationship, and that might be some people's long-term goals, but it's definitely out there if you want a solid relationship. So I would tell anybody not to just settle. It's out there if you want it.
Yeah. So just right before the interview, you were telling me that you have the feelings, or you were expecting to have a family one day in future, and did that scare you when you couldn't find a serious relationship?
Absolutely. I mean, shout out to all the single parents out there, but I do not want to put myself in that situation financially, or I want a kid to have two parents. They deserve the love that any other kid does. And growing up, being taught that gay parents should not be able to have kids because it's going to ruin their lives, I had to come to terms with that and think, no, a child deserves two loving parents who's going to support them for whatever they want to do. If they want to go play basketball, absolutely. Or if they want to take piano lessons, that's what they should do. And as long as you have 2 supportive parents, that child's going to have an awesome, healthy life.
That is amazing, and that's actually true. I have 2 best friends in Los Angeles. They're married and they have 2 wonderful children. They are the happiest kids I had seen for their age, and the way they interact with their parents.
Oh, yeah.
It just steals my heart so much. And I totally definitely see your point of having a family, and I'm sure you will have a wonderful family one day.
Thanks.
And you will definitely make a great father. You are so cool and so amazing. Now, what is your suggestion to people who might be listening or watching to this that are still in the shell and struggling with their anxiety of becoming LGBT?
I would definitely say don't hate yourself for having that anxiety. It's real, and it is something that you're going to have to deal with. And I would say don't come out until you're ready, and be sure you're going to be ready, because your life will change. Sometimes for the better. For me, I had all my friends come and support me, but it can also be for the worse. So I would be ready emotionally. I'd be ready financially. My parents, they were helping me out at the time. Now they're like, don't ask us for any money or any help. Luckily, I can make it on my own, but if you can't, then take all of those things into consideration, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So when you came out, do you have a lot of friends who are in that community that supported you, or did you get a lot of support from your straight friends?
Honestly, most of my friends were straight at the time. So it definitely was mostly all my straight friends being like, we don't care. Like, do what you want. It's not affecting our life. Like, you're still our bro at that time. So,
yeah, that is super cool. Yeah, people should understand that more often. Yeah. So, what do you think about Ellen? I need to ask you that because I love her so much, and her being one of the major members in the LGBT community, does she have an impact on you?
Absolutely. So, I love Ellen so much, but I also love that my mom loves Ellen. And so, like, knowing that my parents were exposed to even just her being on TV, and just seeing her being gay on TV made it a little bit more realistic, and probably normalized them a little bit more than what the reaction would have been if she hadn't have been, making my mom laugh literally every night. So, shout out to Ellen for being awesome.
Awesome. And do you feel uncomfortable exposing your sexuality when you're outside or hanging in a social setting? Like you said that earlier, when you guys are holding hands, you hear people passing comments. Does that make you don't want to do that, or you just don't care?
For the most part, I don't care, but also, I'm not going to put myself in a situation to be exposed to more hate than is required. So, sure, if I'm not comfortable with the people I'm around, I'm going to act a little bit, I'm going to blend in a little bit better and not be so out than when I'm going to the Pride event and I'm around like 100 different gay people. I definitely kind of blend in still.
And how safe do you feel in Nashville? Because I know there is not a lot of attacks, but I had read in the news articles about few attacks on, especially projected towards the LGBT people.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I think just as safe as any other Nashvilleian. Of course, when I go to play in Nashville, the gay bar, I am always wary of situations because of the Pulse event. Any bar, you have to be careful, or even churches now, you have to be careful. So I don't feel targeted at all for being in the LGBT community, but Nashville's not, it's a city, there's going to be crime. So I would say just always be aware of your surroundings, especially if you're leaving a known LGBT supportive place.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for taking your time and spending with us. Thank you so much again, and it's a pleasure meeting you.
You as well. Thanks.
Awesome.
Okay. I couldn't think of any more questions. That's why I was like,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but I was letting you know, like, Bryce said the camera was going to reset in 30 minutes, and it was clipped.
Oh, yeah.
No,
but he finished up that, like, I'm glad you asked that question because you finished it up right before it did it.
Yeah, because we're at 31, and I think he started it like a minute after that.
Let me save that. Alright.
That's awesome.
Got it.
You're a good interviewer.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I'm a good talker for sure. And interviewing is definitely something that I always wanted to do. And even in college, we had a radio.
Yeah.
College radio. So I did the interviews there. Why my mentor wanted me to do the interviews because I don't cut people off when they're talking about something.
Yeah.
I'd just go in that way and then come back to my question later.
Exactly, yeah. You circle back around if they get off topic,
Thank
which
you
I
so
did a few
much.
times. Yeah, of course. No.
I'd love to meet Ryan if that's okay with you guys.
He'll fly back in on Sunday. So.
I'm so in love with their love story.
I know.
Well, maybe we'll start coming to... Actually, so my best friend Paige, she lives in Nashville too. And literally last night, she was like, remember like a long time ago when you said that you wanted to like church hop and find a home? She was like, we should do that. So...
Invite Paige to go.
Yeah.
Please come to Crosspoint. Trust me. I'm not trying to rub that on you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I have testimonies from all the LGBT people who are married in Nashville and living here for 20 years or 15 years.
I have a lot of. There's a lot of people from the gay community that go there.
I volunteer in the guest experience team. Oh my God! I have like 4 or 5 friends who are LGBT, in the LGBT community. They have volunteered there. I love it so much.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, yeah. So I've done. Like before I came out, I did so much research on LGBT like supportive churches in Nashville.
Yeah.
And Crosspoint is definitely always like top 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
that was even going to be my top.
Did Ryan ever tell you I took him there a couple times?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I took him there a couple times.
Oh man, I wanted to ask.
I fell asleep once because I took him there and was like, he was either extremely early or it was the 5:30 service. It was just what it was.
Asleep.
Yeah, he was.
Oh my God.
He started to pass out. I was like,
It's probably that 9 o'clock one.
Off the record.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel jealous
Of what?
if somebody is checking out Ryan? Because straight men do that when
No
they're.
one's gonna check out Ryan.
Really?